Can we get a bop, please, Al?
We can get a Bob. Bob.
Welcome back to the USA Guts podcast. We're joined with our special guest, Al Nettell, MVP at the 2023 US Guts National Championship. You're looking great. That's all you need to know.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little,
you look
a little
good.
hungover, but I finally got to celebrate.
Awesome. Do you have your questions, Noah?
I do. Mine are way more focused on the specific tournament, but that's
Word.
it. Good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
it
questions
works.
are more like get to know Al, and yours might be tournament specific. So
Yeah, why'd you stop turning around, Al?
Oof. Yeah, that was I started doing that in Wisconsin.
I feel like I was watching the Iron Man clips too, and I noticed that you were flirting with not turning around there.
So, and especially, yeah, Iron Man just couldn't hit my guy, couldn't hit an end, and I did it during warm-ups. And I was just like warming up naturally and didn't do the spin. And it was more square, flip more, and I was hitting outside hand. So I was like, huh, all right, we can play with that a little bit. And went into Wisconsin with that. And then it just worked out and no more spin.
okay, I guess while we're talking about your mechanics, what about like the wild arm, like trailing way up and back? Like that seems like a new mechanic for your shot as well. Was that something you were like tinkering with in practices?
Not as much on my elbow anymore. So
Okay.
it's more of shoulder body, but just like one fluent motion.
I feel that. Got to save the elbow.
Yeah, that elbow's crucial. I mean, my shoulder's not doing too good, but
From throwing or backhands or
yeah. So mostly, I don't have a backhand like the other guys do. I'm more of a get it going, get it going, get it going, and just ride it out the whole tournament and then pay for it the next week. So
That was something I was going to ask about. How do you balance the like Saturday versus Sunday bop mentality? Like, I feel like this weekend I didn't see it as much, but that not throwing your good shots on Saturday, not having, all of the weapons available to you to make sure you stay in the winner's bracket.
yeah, so it didn't really affect us. I mean, having Derek really helped. But like I told Kyle Saturday, I said Saturday morning, I said, hey, we're Saturday players, you know that. Like we gotta ball out Saturday. Let's save Kyle. Let's save Steve, or let's save Carter. Let's save Steve-O. And Will's just a different animal. He can go
Yeah.
all out. So we gotta step up again and just do our Saturday thing. Just ball out Saturday and whatever comes Sunday comes.
maybe it's just because I'm getting older, but I'm always impressed with sidearm throwers who can throw the whole tournament sidearm. I think that's impressive.
Yeah, and Will, he snaps it whenever he wants. And his arm doesn't really get tired. Like, it's crazy to me. I'm like, I'll sit there like after and I'll like move my arm a little bit and I'll be like, ooh, okay. And we'll go, your arm hurt? I'm like, oh, I feel it a little bit. He's like, oh, mine feels great. I was like, well, you shot like 15 times that game. He's like, yeah, I'm just warming up. I'm like, you were throwing smoke.
How do you choose between your flip and your two finger? Like, watching back the finals game one, I feel like you were feeling out which one you wanted to throw against us.
Yeah, depending on which guy I wanted to hit. If it, like, obviously wind, that's a big deal. I can make my flipper flip when I'm throwing with the wind. It'll be close. But my forehand, it's kind of hit or miss against the wind, especially at Marquette. It was kind of tipping up, and just feel more comfortable with my flipper at that point. So
All right. So, what's your favorite tournament,
far this year, Marquette.
Marquette?
Kurt did a great job. everyone who helped out. It was just an awesome tournament.
Seeing 18 teams for Guts Frisbee was crazy to me. Like 7 fields, constant action. Like I felt like everywhere you turned, there was like 4 or 5 games going at a time. Like,
Yeah, there was no sitting down moment for like all teams at one point. That was good to see.
Yeah, I love the Nationals tournament. I think my favorite part about it is the crowd. Like the fact that you're surrounded by people if you make plays. You know, if you're lucky or fortunate enough to be in the finals, especially, and all eyes are on you, that's an incredible feeling, especially when you make a bag and people are cheering for you. That's cool. Or in your case, if you're doing diving catches out back, or you had a lot of stylish bags, I think, at this tournament, like, bagging it, showing it to them. That was fun to watch. But what do you think about, or what do you have to say about being called one of the most stylish Guts players? Like, you always bring a certain level of flair to your game, like whether it's like your shoes, your shoe color, some accent color that you're wearing, or your shades. I remember at Ironman you had like
the beanie.
these crazy colored
It's
shoes
the
and socks
beanie.
or something.
I had the beanie and the Dolphins jersey, and I think I was wearing my blue LeBrons.
Ah, oh yeah, they had some like neon colors in them,
Yeah,
but
maybe like neon orange or some pink in there and some green. That flare just came out of nowhere. I saw like a pair of shoes that I liked, and I just wore it, and I was like, I need a cool pair for like the Iron Man, because those are like running shoes. So I was like, I need a pair of like basketball shoes. So that's when I incorporated that in there, playing at a gym. And I've always had like the neon cleats, but now I'm stepping up my sock game. So I'll pull up, if I'm wearing pants, I'll pull them up a little bit, roll them over just so I can flex the socks a little bit.
Do you think that's a direct correlation to you playing at an MVP level?
Oh, for sure.
Look better, play better?
Yeah.
that is one thing about Guts that is always fun to see. Like, people shave their beards down to mustaches, and people shave their hair in strange ways, or like into mullets, or they grow mullets for tournaments, or maybe they just normally have mullets. But there's just always a variety of people like doing interesting things to like add some flair to their team. I love that, and I would love to see more people doing that. So if you can influence Bop to start wearing crazy things as well, more flair, and we need at least 46 pieces of flair.
Tell Will to bring back the Willy Wonka glasses on Sunday. He
Yeah.
said he'd only wear them on Saturday. At finals. I want that next year.
I think Will's giant hat, or like the Aussie hat, or whatever it's called.
Oh, it's
that he
great.
wears,
I like that as an addition.
Yeah.
that counts.
That
I don't know.
definitely counts.
I don't know how he plays in it. I tried to play in a hat like that one tournament, made it 2 games, and that thing was off. Like, I found it so restrictive. I don't know how Will does it.
Yeah, like the little things. I think 2 years ago during nationals, Kurt gave out those like handkerchief bandanas,
Yep.
and Carter put that. He tied it up and had it hanging like on his down his neck, and I thought that was cool. That looked really slick. So I like that. There's like little things like the visors. I remember who started that. I don't know if it was Carter or Steve. I think Steve started the visor.
Yeah, don't they have like kind of matching white visors?
Yeah.
We were talking about, like, you guys did such a good job with, like, calling foot faults or, like, your own vertical shots and stuff. Like, just being a really good example of, like, how we should play the game.
Yeah, I think you got Bop. I mean, you guys are leaders in the sport right now, and I saw like a really high level of integrity on your team, and that was great to see. And I think it's inspirational to other teams. But I mean, I think I saw you guys calling your own verticals, calling your own foot faults, against the will of some people who are standing on the sidelines. I think I remember hearing people be like, "Really? What?" Like, but you guys were calling the shots, and playing by that new towing the line enforcement. And yeah, you guys played with a lot of integrity. That was great to see.
Yeah. Will Will got on Carter and Marquette for sure about that. He's like, hey, toe the line. Because once it comes down to it, then you just got to get used to it.
So what do you do for a living?
Construction. I'm a fireproofer. Yeah, I'm up on the scaffolding, spraying steel beams. Most just commercial buildings, hospitals, schools, hotels at some points.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Mostly country. I'm all over the place. Classic rock, alternative.
That's the most UP answer, by the way.
Yeah.
Way to really stay in the groove
Yeah.
up there.
Did you grow up in the like Hancock area, Holton Hancock?
Yeah, in Hancock, pretty much downtown Hancock.
All right. Were you surprised to hear your name announced for the MVP?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Can you walk us through what that was like?
So I just celebrating, and I heard Kurt say something, doing this, doing that. And I heard now the MVP. I like started walking to get a spot to see who would win it. And then he said my name, and I kind of turned around. I'm like, really? Oh,
Al,
1 second. We lost.
your camera flipped into some weird horizontal mode.
So Al, you just won the MVP. Why don't you take us back? How did you get into Guts Frisbee?
my dad played. Threw a frisbee, young age.
He
Got
played
into
Guts.
it a little bit. Went to a couple of practices. Like I was young, just growing up around it. And then I think it was Frank Townsend's kid, Guido. His kid called me one day, like, "Hey, you want to play frisbee?" Kind of thought about it, and I was pumped. I'm like, "Yeah, like I see my dad do this. I want to get into it." And I went to one practice. I can't remember how old I was, 11, 10, and just got peppered. And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to baseball." Then got into it a couple of years later. It's me, Carter, Will, Jacob Norkel, just practice. And my first actual tournament was the Q&A Classic 2012 or 13. My
Okay.
first major was IFT 2014.
The good old carpetbagger era.
Yeah. I think we were Get a Life my first tournament. Michael Zerka played with us. John Wallakainen played with us. That was fun.
Nice. Got Zerka in on there. Name drop. I remember when you guys used to make your own shirts. You would just get like white T-shirts and markers and write
Yeah.
Bop on it. And did Will's dad always pay for your guys' admission? Like, is that why you guys have always been named Bop, Shadow Bop?
Yeah, that was our sponsor.
Nice.
I think even if he wasn't our sponsor, we'd still go with it.
That's cool.
And for personal reasons, does the keg come from Shuttlebop for the IFT every year?
Of course it does.
I'm pretty sure this year we ran into you guys getting the keg, like driving through downtown, and we're like, "Is Steve-O loading the keg right now?" I think he is.
Yeah.
Did you drink out of the dirty like bronze cup, or did you drink out of like a cup inside of the cup?
So there was a cup inside of a cup, but
It spills
the
out.
two beers overfilled the red Solo, went into the dirty cup. It was leaking out the bottom. It still tasted good.
The real question is, who drank first? Because I think they get whatever the worst is in the bottom of the dirty
Yeah.
cup. So like, you don't want to be
Dang.
first.
Trying to think who was first. Will, maybe Steve-O.
As long as it wasn't you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's a good point. If I'm on a team that ever wins the IFT again, I'm just going to pour some beer in there and dump the first one out for the fallen Guts homies.
You're just you're
Yeah.
sanitizing. You're just
I like that.
Like, but really the reason is because there's like dirt and dust and whatever inside.
Probably some metal shavings you got to get out.
Remnants of last year's beer drinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some.
Pieces of mustache.
I'll keeps it clean on the full beard though. Not Could we get you to go mustache gang for a tournament?
Yeah. I think we can incorporate that into Worlds or USGO, excuse me.
So what's your team going to look like for, or what's BOP going to look like for USGO?
Original 5, Ron Skids, Derek Stone, and Bert.
That's a good team.
It's gonna be a long road through that. That tournament's gonna be tough.
There's going to be a lot of good teams there.
Stacked.
Yeah.
Deep teams too. I don't think there's going to be I'm not going to say that there's not going to be many teams, but there's going to be solid teams.
I agree. Do either of you guys know what UP Hardwood is doing?
I
Those
believe
guys?
they are running back the exact same team.
Okay.
I think partway through the year they made that decision to like play together, stick together, and just like this is their team going forward, which is great to see because like those guys are starting to play some unreal frisbee.
Yeah, and it's always
That's all I'm telling Connor and Hogan. So if you guys can stick together as a team, I mean, you guys are going to be solid.
yeah, it's always great to have a home team as well and not try to just make it onto new teams every year.
Getting a little more into the weeds. Al, what's your approach when you play an end as the target? Like, you know someone's going to throw at you. What is your mindset in that moment of like, I know I'm the guy. You got Carter next to you. Like, what are you thinking I need to do in this moment?
Get the frisbee in the air. Get it to Will. Get it to Carter. Get it to Steve-O.
And then
Get a solid hand on it.
And then when you bag it a bunch of times in the finals, that's just a nice.
That was just me being selfish.
I do have to say, I noticed this year a change in your willingness and like desire to throw on like ups and stuff. Like I saw it in the finals of you wanted the disc rather than being like wait for someone else to step in and take it. Just like, no, give me the frisbee. I know I can score. Like, I feel like I've seen that change.
I've been on the punt this year, especially. Finally figured out what I was doing. Still got to tinker with some mechanical issues, but as soon as I figure that out, I'm gonna want the disc a lot more. And I just started having fun with it. I mean, I don't think I've ever smiled as much as being in Marquette. It helps when your team's doing well and you're prospering, but the tournament's really fun, great atmosphere, and I think that just helped me out in wanting to play, wanting to have the frisbee.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think any of the cameras caught it, but before game 3, instead of doing the usual, like, high five, like, good luck, Al decided to pick me up and walk me to my team's huddle before game 3 as a good luck moment instead.
That's one of the things I love about Guts, honestly, is like the camaraderie before matches, especially like, one of you is going home, like maybe like a loser's bracket elimination round or something. I feel like people are usually messing around with each other, making jokes. It's usually like a fun and light atmosphere, and people are just in good spirits and kind of like reminding each other, hey, we're friends. This is a community sport. But sorry, bro. One of us has to go home, and hopefully it's not us. Like, can you tell us any of your favorite or funny Guts memories?
I mean, Bill Gagne is always just a memory.
He is the consummate spectator. Like, even at tournaments when he's not there, his spirit is there. Like, I hear at least 2 or 3 people go into their Bill
Yeah.
voice and tell you like who's gonna catch so and so, or like, come on,
Yeah,
you can
if
throw
Bill's
harder
not
than
there,
that.
someone's gonna beat Bill.
Yeah. And it's true. He will cheer for whoever's in front of him. Like, we were playing at the IFT, and he was over, and he was like, you guys got this. Like, that's nothing. And then I got to the other side, and I just hear, no one doesn't even throw hard. Come on. I was like, it's like, Bill, you were hyping me up a shot ago. What happened?
I remember at the IFT, Bill Gagne was chirping our team while we were on his side. Like he started off like seemingly against us. He's like, "Oh, I don't know, what are you guys doing? Nobody's catching," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like 30 seconds after that, he's like, "Come on, Will." He's like, "You're a stud, Will. What are you doing? Throw that frisbee."
My other favorite one is when you miss your guy and you're like, you're going to hit him? Really?
Yeah.
And like, now your strategy's in question. And it's like,
Then he makes a little under his breath comment, well, I would have hit somebody else. Maybe the end guy.
yeah, you're like, I mean, with the way Tanner's throwing today, like, I would just hit him every time.
Yeah.
Like, he's throwing butter today. You guys are just keep hitting him. And it's like, thanks, Bill.
Are there any shots in particular in the guts world that you like that you don't want to see the most? I know you don't. Luckily for you, you don't have to worry about seeing Carter and
The
Steve
thumbers,
throwing at you.
yeah.
So, them aside, maybe
The John Ludke.
that's fair. That guy
And
throws hard. His
KB's
disc.
fish hook.
Who's
KB's fish hook is terrifying.
Who's KB?
Kevin Bickler. That fish hook is terrifying.
It's like a dive bomb.
Can never get a beat on it. Hits me square in the hand and goes right to the ground.
Especially when it gets windy and it just floats up there a little bit longer. Like, that thing's a
Yeah.
knuckleball. Except how great those long sleeve shirts are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get on that train.
That's something we got to talk about.
So we were actually talking about this. Yeah, it was Saturday. It was Saturday midday, and it even went on to Sunday morning about how tournament directors should get together and actually talk about what they are doing for their giveaway for the registration.
The swag.
So IFT did the putters. Marquette did long sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, USGO did hats. I think everyone needs to get together and do something different for every tournament. Obviously, the classic T-shirt is whatever, and the frisbee. But I think the hat's a really good idea. I like the hat, long sleeve, just something different.
Yeah, different ways. Like, when we talk about like the swagger in the community and other stuff, like, where's a tournament that gives out socks from that tournament? Like, everyone gets like some sweet socks. Like, because I've gotten like questions from like, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I had my USGO hat on and someone was like, oh, what's USGO? Like, giving us different ways, not just like a t-shirt, to incorporate like Guts Frisbee into like the wardrobe or just like your life. And then also, like, it's cool. Like, I don't know if I'll ever use the IFT putter, but it's going to sit in my bag forever.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
more
this
of
is a cool thing to like show.
But
But
the mantle.
I agree. It's nice if just some coordination of like, yeah, in one tournament can definitely do the classic t-shirt because like those are fun to collect. I know people have done quilts with them. Like, those are fun to look back on. But also, like you said, Al, like the long sleeve. Like, let's get a visor. Like, we wear enough visors in Guts Frisbee. Give me a visor from your tournament. That would be cool.
I disagree with the visors personally, but I mean, I don't want a visor per se. I would never wear it.
Even like an option though of like if we have enough people at a tournament of like, instead of like shirt size, like, do you want a hat or a visor this year? We're gonna do 2 orders.
Could you imagine like 200 people at like U.S. Nationals all wearing a visor?
The same visor. That's the group picture I want.
Yeah.
That would be wild. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about what USGO is giving out. One of my ideas I liked was hand towels. I think towels are a pretty utility in guts, like wiping down the disc, especially if there's rain or whatever.
Or dusty. Like we saw that at the IFT when like dust would pick up,
dust,
and
yeah.
like hand towels are super helpful.
Joe Klessert down in Albuquerque throws like a 60-mile-an-hour shit hook. It is so weird, and I would say it's up there with thumbers, like as far as how difficult it is to catch, like because it has like 2 or 3 movements to it. It's disgusting. Best shit hook thrower in the world, Joe Klessert. You've been down to Albuquerque, haven't you, Al?
Yeah,
I
guess I could ask that question too. Who's going down to Albuquerque that you heard of?
Cam will be there, actually.
Cam is going to Albuquerque?
Cam said he's going this year.
No shit. I've been going every year, usually for the most part without fail. But this year I'll be having my second kid in late September, so I don't think I'll be.
That one sounds like it's off the docket for you there.
Yeah. Well, Al, thanks for hopping on an interview with us. Congratulations again on winning the U.S. Nationals Gus Frisbee tournament, and also congratulations on winning the MVP. Very well played, man. You're a class act. You're one of my favorite players on BOP, and love to see what you bring to the game.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Can't wait to keep throwing at you downstate, Al. I expect the same thing back.
Yeah, let's run it.
Yeah, we'll see you at USGO, man.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Thanks, Al.
All right, thanks. Catch you later.
Yeah, we'll see you.